somehow.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night is presented by AT&T. Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
31-29, the final score as the Dallas Cowboys fall to 0-1 to start off the 2021 campaign in an instant classic from Raymond James Stadium as they fall just by a couple of points to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the reigning Super Bowl champions, and we're here to break it down right here on Cowboys Game Night. Welcome in, and it's also the first word presented by Dr. Pepper. I'm Kyle Yeomans, joined by a trio of former Dallas Cowboys. We've got Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback, and Barry Church. Gentlemen, I'll open the floor to you guys. Isaiah, starting with you, what were your general thoughts of the 2-point loss in Week 1?
First of all, I want to give applause to the character of this team. I think that was one of the things that we had questions about with the new acquisition of Dan Quinn and some of our young guys being conjoined with some of our veterans. But this team has a lot of character. They fought hard. They fought a really obviously proven offense and defense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We were given a lot of opportunities to be in this game, to win this ball game. Unfortunately, we didn't take advantage of those opportunities, and we laid them on the ground. We laid an egg.
Yes, we did. But I tell you what, man, I was worried about the middle of that offensive line. And overall, they played well. We got a couple of holding calls on our Connor Williams, but you know what? Connor McGovern held up. Late in the game, Biotish had a little struggles with Vita. But overall, they played a good, solid game. Once again, Coach Philbin, great job.
Yeah, I mean, where do we start here? I mean, offensively, I got to say I'm impressed with three things. I mean, especially that offensive line without all-pro guard Zach Martin in there. They held their own, especially in the pass game. They gave Dak Prescott enough time back there to pretty much wheel and deal what he wanted to. These three receivers, we know they were the truth. We knew they were going to be the truth coming into this game, and they went out there and showed us. And I also got to be impressed with Kellen Moore. I mean, his creativity he had out there as far as play calling is concerned. He had Zeke out, split out a couple times. He had his coaching hat on tonight. So I'm impressed with that. Defensively, Parsons is the real deal. I think we knew that coming into this preseason games, in this regular season, kicked it off right. That man's the real deal. I'm happy he's on our defense.
I think overall, when you look at both sides of the football, offense and defense, you felt pretty good about what you saw tonight in Week 1, especially stretching the reigning Super Bowl champion. Special teams, there's a little bit of ways to go there, and I think the Cowboys will certainly look at that in the coming weeks. But when you look at the latter parts of this game, gentlemen, you had the big-time drive late, Isaiah, that put you up by a single point. Greg Zuerlein did come through with the big field goal with 1:29 left. However, there was a big no call in that final drive. What did you think about the potential no call that was not called on Chris Godwin?
Yeah, I think it was the right call, the right no call. I think it was a contested play. Both guys were fighting for position. I know some people, obviously Cowboy Nation, going to say it was a push-off, but that's just a good old little hand fight by a receiver and a DB. Good play, good catch. Yeah, that's what it is.
Hey, the better team won. I mean, you kind of felt at the beginning of the game, going into the second half, that they were in control. The Bucs were in control. They had the better players tonight. But let's just see how this team grow. They had the better players tonight.
Oh, without a doubt, they had the better players tonight. And look, we left a little bit too much time for
Yes.
Tom Brady there towards the end of the game. And as far as that no call on Chris Godwin there, I think it was a great call. I mean, I didn't see the full extended push off that we see from most receivers. He kind of did that wily vet kind of elbow shove a little bit, got enough separation, and the rest was history.
We continue looking at some of the highlights here from the win. The Cowboys winning the turnover battle, 4 turnovers to 1. They had the takeaway battle won. They did give up a big play here and there to Chris Godwin and to Antonio Brown as well. But they also won the third down battle, and they also won time of possession pretty handily. So lots of positives for this Dallas Cowboys team to look upon. That's it for the first word presented by Dr. Pepper. But we've got more Cowboys game night coming up. What did you think about the coaching staff and Mike McCarthy as he starts off year number 2 as the head man of the Dallas Cowboys when we return?
This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. The Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket from the Texas Lottery is your ticket for a chance to win up to $100,000. Get your Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. Must be 18 or older to purchase a ticket. Play responsibly.
The Dallas Cowboys fall on the road to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 31-29, the final score from Tampa. The Cowboys did have 403 yards through the air. However, Ezekiel Elliott held to just 11 carries for 33 yards, no touchdowns. He had a long run of just 13 yards. Here's what he had to say following the 2-point loss.
Talking about the emotions of a game like this. I mean, you guys are so excited to get back in it, ups, downs. Just what are you feeling right this second?
It was great to get back out there. I think we did a great job going out there competing. Defense did a great job going out there taking the ball away. Offense did a great job going out there scoring. Fell short, but I like where we're at right now, and we're gonna get better.
Before I talk about your game, I mean, you didn't have any doubts about Dak, but the way he came back and played, I mean, did he even surprise you with just that performance?
No, he don't surprise me at all. He picked up right where he left off, spinning that thing. Receivers did a hell of a job too, just making plays and dominating their DBs.
What about as far as game plan for you? You didn't get a lot of carries. You're used to getting a lot more touches. Was that kind of by design, the way they were playing in the middle there?
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to, when the more games coming up, you think you'll get a lot more touches than that?
The game goes however it goes, you know what I mean? I'm just out there to play, out there to do my best every play. I don't know.
How about from the flip side of Tom Brady? You got down there, you got the points, but when you're looking at that clock and you're like, oh man, that's a lot of time for Tom Brady.
There was a lot of time to put him back out there. I wish we would have been able to go down there and score a touchdown or even taking more time off the clock. But, best quarterback or best player ever. He did it. He went down there and brought him down there and scored.
This isn't a team that's going to settle for moral victories. I know you guys are upset, but can you build off a game like this to give you some confidence to say, hey, we're gonna be able to do some things this year if we play like this?
I think we definitely could build off this. I think it's a good start. Wish we would have got the win, but I like where we're at, and we just got to get better.
And you felt good physically. You didn't get a lot of touch. You said you wanted to get that first hit. You got that out of the way. You feeling pretty good?
Yeah, I feel great.
All right, great. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You have a good one.
All right,
So Elliott gets that first hit out of the way, but overall still held pretty in check on the ground. Was that a side product, Isaiah, of Kellen Moore's play calling and really what the Tampa Bay defense gave them?
Absolutely. I mean, we saw early and often, he emptied out the formation a lot, so there wasn't too many opportunities for Zeke to be in the backfield. When he did get the ball and he did have those opportunities to run, he was explosive. He made decisive cuts. He got up the field, 3-4 yard gains. I think he did a great job. They went more to their pass game, obviously, with 58 attempts versus running the ball.
I just think they believe that with Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh that they couldn't run up in the middle. And so a lot of we saw the 13 carries or 11 carries, he jumped to the outside. It wasn't nothing inside. Then they started setting the edges real well, Shaq Barrett and Pierre Paul. So it wasn't anywhere to go. This was a masterful call, I think, by the young OC.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on this one, Nate. I feel like they saw what they had in Tampa Bay as far as that front line, that defense. We've seen what Vita Vea was able to do as a defensive tackle, and they knew they couldn't get it up in there with Ezekiel Elliott. So he put his coaching hat on, and he started hitting the perimeter, what we talked about in the pregame. He started hitting the perimeter, letting these guys work in space. And those receivers did a heck of a job out in space. They were able to have a productive offense without running the ball as much as they probably would have done. And I'm surprised with that, but Kellen Moore, hats off to you.
Yeah, Kellen Moore throwing a lot at the passing game throughout this first week and first test of the regular season. Dak Prescott tying a career high in pass attempts with 58. How did he feel in his first game back in 333 days? We'll talk about it on the other side of the break when we return to Cowboys Game Night.
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. The Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket from the Texas Lottery is your ticket for a chance to win up to $100,000. Get your Dallas Cowboys scratch ticket today. Must be 18 or older to purchase a ticket. Play responsibly.
before the 2-minute drive of Tampa. So, but yeah, well, I mean, we got to, you get in a game like that, you need all the points you can get. I thought Amari played very well. I mean, he had obviously a lot of targets, he had a lot of catches, a lot of production. Thought he did a good job yards after the catch. I think that, like anything, you're always into the game and the adjustments you make. I think that he's communicating, a lot better than last year. I think it's a product of, staff's in their second year. So I like the function and how fluid we were throughout the game on really both sides of the ball.
You had a turnover with Brady. Did you get enough pressure on Brady because he took advantage of AB, which was obviously AB is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they did a good job getting the ball out, pretty quickly. I think, if we were able to get them to go to the second or third read but I mean, I thought they did a nice job, spreading us out, and they have a lot of weapons. So we knew we were coming in here with a big challenge, for our defense. But I love the energy that our guys played with. I loved how much everybody played, and it was important. We wanted our young guys to be part of this, and we knew we were going to have to come in here, empty our bucket in this weather.
This segment is brought to you by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
Cowboys game night rolling on from the Globe Life Studios at the Star in Frisco. Kyle Yeoman's with you. And guys, when you look at the loss, 31-29 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, no one's ever okay with the loss, but it really was nice seeing Dak Prescott back out there. 42 of 58 for 403 yards and 3 touchdowns. Isaiah, what did you see from the starting quarterback?
Yeah, first of all, it's good to see Dak back on the field and healthy. I think this obviously you saw the different approach and the confidence that these guys had as they came on the field today. But in the first half, I was concerned. In the first half, the velocity just wasn't there. His delivery just wasn't there. His mechanics weren't there. You saw he wasn't following through with his passes. They were left in the air a little bit. He had a couple good ones, just like that one that was dropped in a honey hole. But some of the other ones were left a little bit short. And so I was concerned with him in the first half. As you transition into the second half, I believe that he started really getting into the actual game, right? In terms of actually just like down and distance and situations. And he was thinking less about his physical and thinking more about the actual playing of and being efficient on the field. So I think the hesitation that we saw and the lack of production in his ball early on in the game, I want to say that it was partially mental because physically he was fine in the second half.
And, and I think that's where as a player like him, a professional, he continues to work his mechanics. He continues to go through the things that they need to go through. And the repetitions of ramping back up finally took hold in the second half, and he did a better job of throwing the ball.
Yeah, I was extremely impressed with Dak Prescott. I mean, look, we saw, the first half and a little bit in the second half. He didn't have that zip that we're accustomed to seeing. But, I mean, this guy was efficient. He was in there. He had his pocket presence on. The offensive line did a great job blocking for him in the front part of that front seven because we know how bad that Tampa Bay front seven can get to the quarterback. So Dak Prescott, he looked efficient out there. He was putting the ball where only his receivers had the opportunity to catch it. And look, that's all we can ask for him. Over 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's a heck of a night for Dak Prescott.
And we mentioned some of the play calling for Kellen Moore overall, but the way that he kind of utilized Dak Prescott in this ball game, it was really keeping things underneath. They didn't stretch the field a whole lot, and I think it put a lot of the pressure on these wide receivers who delivered. Amari Cooper with 134 yards. You have CeeDee Lamb with over 100 yards. What did you guys think about the production from the wide receivers, Isaiah, when you looked at the three?
Yeah, we mentioned Kellen Moore earlier in the segment, and he did exactly what we say, what we call in your bag, right? Kellen Moore was in his bag, meaning that he had a whole bag of tricks. He did a great job of keeping Tampa Bay's defense at bay. They didn't know what to expect. He used all different personnel groupings. He used all different types of formations, shifts, spread formations, all kinds of things. And I think it really allowed our guys not only to get set, but also to keep these guys at bay.
You know what, Dalton Schultz. I don't want to not forget him. He was physical after the catch. He made things happen. So I want to put him in that bag too.
Mm-hmm. And I think these three receivers, I think they put their claim as the top trio in the National Football League. I mean, these guys were catching 3 to 4 yard bubble screens or shallow routes, and they were turning them to 15 to 16 yard gains. I mean, that's what I'm talking about when we talk about the yak yardage and what our defense had to do to Tampa Bay's offense. As far as that's concerned, our offense did the exact same. They went out there, caught the ball, made plays in space. Kellen Moore did an amazing job of calling things, getting these guys the ball in space, and when you do that, great things can happen for this offense.
Michael Gallup did not return to play after dealing with a bit of an ankle ailment in the middle of that second half. We'll see what his status is moving forward. But when we come back here on Cowboys Game Night, let's take a look at Coach Mike McCarthy and what he had to say at the podium following the 31-29 loss to Tampa Bay.
This segment was brought to you by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
An easy kick, you don't even really practice them. It's just automatic. And so when you miss something like that, you analyze it for about 2 minutes, figure out what you did wrong, and then you got to move on. It does you no good dwelling on it.
Did you put your finger on it? I mean, could you kind of tell what happened on that one, or is it something you'd rather keep?
Well, I'll have to go back and watch the film. I know what I think I did, but until I go actually watch the film, I just make that adjustment after that kick and go from there. But to actually get down to the nuts and bolts, I won't know until I go watch the film.
So you had that, and then the missed extra point. When you got the third kick, when you made that one, I mean, is it human nature to have a little bit more confidence? All right, things are good, or did it ever waver at all?
I think the approach is always the same, whether you make it or miss it. You don't just throw things straight out the window. You figure out what you did wrong, and you can make a slight tweak, but you're not going to wholesale change everything. And so you just got to keep swinging, really. That's all it is. Just be confident and swing.
Were some of those kickoffs, was that like a design kickoff to like have, to pooch it up, to try to pin them down there? I mean, because we see you bang it through the back of the end zone, but some of the times it's a design call.
Yeah, it just depends on what we're feeling at the moment, what the momentum of the game is. So many times you'll see teams kick it short, kind of like we did tonight, and you're trying to strip the ball and make a big play for the team. And so on some of those calls, that's what it was. And sometimes the other team.
Coach Mike McCarthy now 6-11 during his one and change tenure as the head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. But this is one of the more complete offensive performances that his Cowboys have had since Week 5 of the 2020 season. Here's what he said after the game at the podium about the offensive performance.
I thought Dak played well. First, I really like the way our team played. The preparation leading up into it. Knew we were coming in a tough environment, and I think, Dak included. So, we had some tough looks, particularly some of the things they did defensively, what you expect. You get in these early games, the unscouted looks are high. I thought the guys did a good job adjusting to it, handling the adjustments. Did a really good job getting the ball distributed on the perimeter. Put up some good numbers. We just came up short a little bit with the points. But, there's things definitely that are we can correct and work on. But I was proud of the way our guys played tonight. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're +3 in the turnover ratio. I mean, our defense did an outstanding job. We had 4. We had the one give on offense. But, that's we want that to be a staple of our play style. It's something that we put a lot of time into. We spend a lot more time than I ever have. Particularly with the team fundamental drills, and it was great to see the guys have success in that area tonight.
One of the big drilling points for Coach Mike McCarthy in the locker room is getting takeaways. Well, the Cowboys did that tonight with 4 takeaways of that Tampa Bay offense. Isaiah, how does that transition into wins since this one did not?
Well, we talked a lot about culture in the offseason and making sure that we establish one, especially underneath Dan Quinn. And this is exactly what he's talking about. He wants guys running around, flying around, making plays, hitting people, making things difficult for guys to make plays. And we had 2 turnovers, D-Law with the punch out, okay, and then we had a nice little pick. And then we had 2 kind of gimmies, right, in the Hail Mary. But these guys come out and they played well, and they put themselves in positions to make plays. And I think more than anything, that's what this team is looking for.
You know, the percentages, take out Tom Brady, the percentages, 4 turnovers, you win the game. 3 turnovers, you win the game. Like, I agree with you. 2 of them we earned. A few, the other 2 was kind of, was toss-ups. But most games, when you have 4 turnovers, except Tom Brady, you normally win the game.
Yeah, I think this defense did a tremendous job of taking the football away. Like we all said up here, they were ball hungry, ball dominant in this game today on the defensive side of the ball. And that's truly what kept them in the game. Because if we notice those drives that they didn't take the ball away, Tom Brady was able to go up and down those fields. So, kudos to Dan Quinn and all those guys on the defensive side of the ball, just instilling in the player's mind that they have to strike. They have to get that ball out by any means necessary. And we were able to do that tonight.
Cowboys with those 4 takeaways, but they do come up short, 31-29. When we come back here on Cowboys Game Night, we'll continue tying a bow on this loss to the Buccaneers and take a look ahead to Week 2 as they welcome the Los Angeles Chargers when we come back on Game Night.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night was presented by AT&T, Reliant, an NRG company, and by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
31-29, and one final look at the final stats as the Cowboys almost across the board control the statistical columns top to bottom in their 2-point loss in Week 1 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We continue to wrap things up here on Cowboys Game Night. Lots of positives, but you still feel like the Cowboys left Tampa Bay with a little bit left on the field. What were your final thoughts, Isaiah, as now you look ahead to Week 2 and the Los Angeles Chargers?
Yeah, final thoughts. I mean, first of all, we have a character. We have a character. We have a tough, tenacious team, and that's a positive thing. There's things that we can obviously build on. There's mistakes that we can clean up. The good thing is we played on Thursday night. We have the weekend to go back and review this tape before moving on to the Chargers.
I like the 34 minutes of time possession. Keep that up on the road, and you'll be okay.
Yeah, and it looks like we have an identity on the defensive side of the ball as well as the offensive side of the ball. Defense next week's against the Chargers. We got to continue to take that ball away because Jordan Herbert and those boys, they possess an explosive offense.
Really quickly, Barry, before we end up wrapping this thing up, when you look at this defense, was this the best performance defensively that the Cowboys have had under Mike McCarthy?
I would have to say so, especially taking the ball away 4 times from the defending champs. I would have to say this defense had one of its better performances under Mike McCarthy.
So the Cowboys do fall by 2 on the road. 31-29 was the final score against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They will face the Los Angeles Chargers next Sunday. So a little extra time off for Mike McCarthy and company to get healthy. Michael Gallup certainly in that conversation as well, as he was dealing with an ankle injury in the second half. The Cowboys put up over 400 yards of offense. We'll see what they have against the Chargers next week. For Isaiah, Barry, and for Nate, I'm Kyle Yeoman. So long from Cowboys Game Night.